Welcome to Mice Markets and Logistics for Events. In this section, we're going to be looking at exhibitions and trade shows. Presenting this video, we have Mr. Costa and Mr. Taffin. Here are the objectives for today's lesson.
In the following slides, we will see some of the definitions. A large-scale public showing of art objects or industrial, agricultural products and services.
Here is another definition. An exhibition can be organized in hotels, museums, art galleries and exhibition halls. Let's now see how important exhibitions are in economic terms.
Exhibitions and trade shows are a growing industry. Over the last decade, an increase of 4% a year has been seen. Venues make profits by selling booth space, and it offers them a good cash flow. This increase can be seen in new hotels, which have significant space to hold exhibitions. It is very common that people do conferences and exhibitions in the same area at the same time. If hotels cannot provide the space, then a venue next to the hotel, such as a conference area or an exhibition hall, may be used. One thing to note, however, is that exhibitions are not always big scale, and a study has shown that 1/3 of conventions involving trade shows have less than 50 exhibitors.
Here are some of the most interesting and largest trade shows around the globe. And as you can see, we have there at top of the list a book fair. Why would you think a book fair nowadays in the digital age still one of the largest trade shows around? Let's now look at the types and elements of exhibitions. Exhibitions can be organized together with conferences, congresses or workshops in a way to add value to the exhibitors and making it even more worthwhile for business people or the general public to visit. Exhibitions are divided into two main types. Commercial exhibitions or trade fairs, trade shows or expos are organized to showcase and demonstrate the latest products, services and research activities. Some commercial exhibitions are open to the public in general, while others are only for the industry and the medias. Consumer exhibitions are open to the public, and a good example is the Geneva Car Show.
Exhibitions can be classified in three main styles. Tabletop exhibitions, as the picture suggests, are just tables in a limited space. Area exhibitions use the space to exhibit materials, such as an art exhibition. There will be no tables, no booths, just the space in itself. Booth exhibitions, like the name suggests, is when we build booths for the exhibitors to showcase their material. There are different types of booths, which we will see on the next slide. The standard booth are the booths that are back-to-back, and their maximum height is of 2.2 meters. The perimeter booth is just like the standard booth, but it's on the outside walls of the exhibition area. In America, they are 12 feet. In Europe, we can consider them at 3.5 meters. So if you imagine an exhibition area, the perimeter booths would be on the outer layers. Peninsula booths have three sides that are bordered with aisles. The last type of booth is the island booth. All sides are bordered with aisles in this, making it an island. Which of these do you think would be the cheapest and the most expensive?
Now Let's look at some of the elements. When planning, it's necessary to block out the time that each exhibit area will be in use. The move-in, load-in time is when you bring in and set up and remove all material to clean up before starting. As for the move-out, load-out is when you start dismantling, bringing in all the packaging, shipping and storaging and cleaning up for another exhibitions to start. Photo file is a very helpful tool to have to promote your exhibition space. You use photos from previous exhibitions held in the venue. You must have approval from any company that you are using the photos. You must also guide the photographer to pick out its specific characteristics that you feel are important to enhance your area.
It is also important for the venue to have scaled drawings. These drawings should be accurate, have the doors, the windows, and the columns, have the floor capacity, the heights of the ceilings. And one thing to be careful with is if you copy your floor plan, make sure that you are changing the scale so that nothing is out of scale, because people use these scale drawings to project their booth space and their booth size.
Layouts are also very important. As a venue, you should offer the planner a variety of layouts. The layout will help the exhibition look appropriate and not cover any windows or have booths in the wrong places, for example, like in front of doors or exits or columns. Also have appropriate size aisles. Exhibition layout is done at the early stages in selling the booths and cannot be changed.
Lots of factors need to be considered when determining the space needed for an exhibition, and these include the number and size of regular and non-standard booths, the space needed for additional features, which could be including display areas, lounge areas, concessions, and so on, the placement of the show's registration area and the management office. Additional space will be needed if these are located inside the exhibition hall. To be able to determine the exhibition space needed, there is a rule of thumb. Here you can see it. The meters squared, the area that is needed for an exhibition, is determined by doubling the net squared meter required for the booths, and then adding any space for any ancillary needs. So the formula is number of booths times booth length times booth width times 2. The times 2 over here is all the space considered for the aisles. Now the formula, of course, also works in reverse.
An exhibition is only successful if we manage to sell it. Exhibitions have prospectus that are sent to potential booth buyers. These should include a cover letter, the show's unique rationale, the show's important statistics and successes, the features and benefits to the exhibitors, attendees, categories and demographics, any other exhibiting companies, products and facilities displayed, exhibit floor plans, general information such as the hour, the date, the booth and furnishing, pricing, and also rules and regulations.
Once the exhibitor has signed up to be part of the exhibition, he is sent a service kit. This will have a list of official service contractors, a checklist of forms and deadlines, dates, hours of move-in and move-out as we've seen before, pertinent rules and regulations like fire safety and labor unions. The rates and the pricings are in these order forms too, and it can include furniture, carpeting, signage, utilities. For example, if your booth needs extra plugs and power sockets, you would have to pay for this, and this would all be included in the service kit. Hotels will usually provide the basic furnishing and floor covering for an exhibition, and for building the booths, we usually select an official exhibition service contractor. These will be in charge of all the labor, the plumbing, the electrical works, the telephones, the florists, the booth hostesses, and all the rest. Another essential part of the exhibition is the shipping and the receiving. And because a hotel has very small areas for this, we usually work with a drayage company. The drayage company stores, sets up, and dismantles the exhibition.
Insurance cover is absolutely necessary in all exhibitions. Both buyers and suppliers must have their own insurance too. Each exhibitor should also have a hold harmless clause in their contract. Now, let's talk about who works in exhibitions. Because there are so many different types of exhibitions, we need to work with trade show managers, and the International Association for Events Management, for example, have 7,000 trade show managers associated with them. The trade show manager is responsible for developing a list of potential exhibitors, marketing the show to exhibitors and attendees, contracting with an exhibition service contractor, and also overseeing the logistical planning. The managers are usually employed by an organizing group or as a private entrepreneur. Trade show managers' first priority is to sell the booth space. Here are some of the things he has to do in order to sell them. Also, high past figures are a great tool to sell the event.
Now let's look at the benefits of exhibitions. The benefits to the exhibitors are that they are highly targeted, the buyer comes to you, you can sell your products live in 3D, you have face-to-face contact to understand how the consumer is feeling. It's a neutral sales environment because all your competition is together. It's your final market penetration. You can do competitor research by looking at the exhibition of what the competitors are doing, and it's a great place for networking. For the venue, it's a great place too. Hotels have really started to understand the potential of exhibitions, and they're more frequently held in hotels and have become a big competition to the current conventions and exhibition spaces. For the contractor, there's also a lot of benefits. They are usually receiving a flat fee of about $100 to $150 for setting up a booth. The benefits to the visitor are also great. They can see what's new, they can evaluate products and suppliers by seeing them live and touching them. They can talk to experts that are present there. They make comparison with all the different competitive products that are there, and they meet the people behind the products, which might influence in their decision. Lastly, it's important to look at what exhibitions have done in the past that are good or bad. Poor planning in the exhibition layout is one of the negative sides. Convention sales personnel just gave the stock plan without extra chandeliers or columns, for example, and so your booth falls right in front of a column. How would you feel? What about not organizing correct plumbing, and you have 140 booths and all of them needs water supply because you're doing a food and beverage cooking exhibition? Imagine how much electricity you would need in a high-tech show. Be careful with the power outage. Another big mistake that exhibitions do is they leave too little time for dismantling, and what happens is that people tend to work too fast, scratching surfaces, damaging floors, and all the rest. Another important thing is to think about the heavy equipment. Sometimes the equipment might be so heavy that it could be a problem for your venue. Imagine the floor not supporting the tons of tractors that you want to exhibit for a tractor exhibition. Not to mention that a lot of hotels use carpets or marbles, and this could be damaged in an exhibition. Last but not least, you have to be careful controlling the dock area, making sure that all these big equipments can come in and come out of the garage that you have in your hotel, for example.
Here is a summary for you. Trade shows can be very lucrative business for the hotels that are willing to make an effort to hold them. Also, venues, they need to work with a lot of contractors such as florists, security, and different personnel to mount and also dismount the booths. Trade shows, apart from bringing in guest rooms, they can gain a lot from the F&B department and repeat business not only for the exhibitions but also in meetings and other sorts of MICE. I hope you have enjoyed this video and see you in class. Thank you.
Thank you very much.